One of my clients has a newly formed leadership team, and they've really picked and chosen people with excellence in their expertise. They've brought them in, though, from all over the world. So there's international that have really located to this city for the first time. They've brought people from across Canada. They've moved their families. So there's a lot of new jobs, new roles, new city, new culture, new country, new everything, as well as in the family stress of being relocated on top of it. So in that, they wanted to sit down and really make sure that people had an opportunity to really work well together, to really appreciate cultural differences, to understand what the core values were and where they came from, what were their leadership styles, how are they going to be able to work together from a place of collaboration and really appreciating those differences, seeing them as the strengths, and then being able to use it from there. And so in that forming of the stage, what we did is we created a foundational sort of training, the first session, which was really about understanding the values, the communication styles, those types of things, and giving everybody a chance to really get to know each other, some examples that they were going to be using in work, and taking it to the next step. Then we did some one-on-one stuff with myself, so individually just really learning what's working for you, what's not, why do you think that is, what are some resources or supports you think would be beneficial, and then how do we create those. And then the second training session that we did with everybody back together again was really highlighting how incredibly well they went through a major process at work based on the plant that they're in, and it's a pressure cooker kind of situation that they went through. So everybody really had the opportunity to show up as their best and show up as their worst. And what happened in that is the compliments and the pieces that were in place and how everybody was making that work was so incredible because they had foundation first. They'd already had some of the discussions, they already had some ideas of how they were going to do those, and they had some buy-in with each other that they really all were in the same boat. So by the time we did now the second training, they've come through that sort of really intense process that they went through as a company. They come into the second piece, and now we're working on, and have just completed with them actually, the whole process around how do we maintain now this open flow of communication? Because it's really easy to get caught back into what you hear in the business culture referred to as a silo. But really that's just you going back to your desk, putting your head down, doing your work, and popping up every now and then, but not necessarily keeping the communication going. So we've put some strategies in place that they're now able to continually engage to the point now where they're actually asking me and saying, well, let's look at coming back in and how do we take this depth, not just at this level now. And what's really exciting about it though is they're a company that for me is that they're engaged. They want the outcome. It doesn't always look pretty. It can get messy, but the commitment is we're going to work through that because we're committed to getting to where we want to be. And they really have an incredible leadership team that's invested in everybody having success. And as a result, they had a lot of fun. It's those things when you're in companies where things go sideways, and it's a little bit of what that dark humor side comes up, and you're looking at it and go, are you kidding me? And you're in stitches over it. Because it's life, right? And work is life. Work-life balance was such a overused terminology, right? All of it, so please don't say it anymore. And I think really what happened is people go, oh my God, they're not two separate things anymore. We can make them all together. And yeah, so go back to that whole place where I talk about it's you. You show up to everything you do all day long. So are you showing up with your A game in place? Or are you showing up a little bit less? And if we're exhausted, we're at the D- level. If we're always angry and whatever, so we need the systems in communication as much as we need the results. But again, we go back to, in my world, who are the people sitting in the room? How is individuals? Because that group is going to be uniquely different than this one over here and this one over here. So let's get to know everybody. So we've got some foundation in place, and then start stacking and build that. And we all know that. You build a house, you do anything, build a really good foundation, then you customize the rest, right?